Hello paint can family, welcome to or welcome back to the channel. Let's go for a ride today. It's been a while. So it is absolutely, it has been a while since we've been out on two wheels. Literally I haven't ridden a bike in probably, I don't know, a week and a half or so. Had a week worth of vacation last week. That's why we posted a couple videos there. The last two videos up of the vacation we've done. But now we're back. And had a little bit of time, so we're gonna spend a little time just riding down the road. This is on a county road, not far from my house, but it's, like I said, it's really nice to be back out on two wheels again. It was great to spend the time with the family. Had my wife along, and whoa, gotta love this kind of stuff. Wife along, and my younger daughter Lindsay. Our older daughter was unable to come along with us, just kind of a bummer. She just started a new job at a sign company, and with that does not come a lot of vacation time, so she had to be at work. But being 19 years old, it's kind of in that time frame where she's going to be having to do those sorts of things, and we're not going to be able to spend as much time with her at some of these things as we once did. And well, she's going to be just less than a year away. She's going to be getting married, so that's going to really cut down the time we've got together. So we're just going to appreciate the time that we do have to do these sorts of things. But that aside, don't want to make it on a downer sort of note, but right now we're heading down a couple of towns below us, down to Mount Upton, because my day job as a truck driver, I've got a 379 Peterbilt down there getting worked on, so I could either call them and check on the progress, or I could get on two wheels, jump on the bike and head down that way. I'd much rather be on two wheels and go down and check on it myself than to just make a phone call. So get a little bit of scenery along the way, look off into the field, see what the crops are doing in our area. It's been terribly dry, which not good for farmers, not good for my lawn. That's brown, but I gotta say it's great for riding. The no rain and the heat, it's great to get out on two wheels. So definitely farm country from where I'm from. A lot of log trucks around, like you see back there. People ride around on golf carts, and you know, we're in kind of the backwoods of nowhere. I really enjoy it. Definite farm country. We got some rolling hills, but farmers do a lot of corn. This is one of the, I mean, it's just not a huge barn area because not where they have their milking so much, but Johnson Farms, one of the bigger in our area. A lot of corn. They got a pretty good sized dairy there. They own multiple farms in the area, a lot of land. Really good family, good people. I just love some of the scenery, these back roads. They don't maintain the trees like they do on some of the bigger roads, so they're closer to the road. Kind of sometimes give you that tunnel feeling of the, like here, the cornfields being right up to the edge of the road, or the limbs overhanging the road. Definitely that good country vibe. When we were camping here last week out in the western part of the state, you don't get as much of this as you do in I would consider this south central, about the central part of the state, but a little bit south of central in New York. So we get some sketchy looking places like there on the left, but in general, just to me, a beautiful area. Not a super fan of it during the winter because Yes, it gets cold. Yes, we get a lot of snow, but spring through fall, it's an absolute beautiful area. Again, my opinion. Maybe your opinion varies, but it seems like Otsego County, and that's the roads I'm running on right now. I don't know if they got a bunch of state money or federal money or what, but they've been able to do a tremendous amount of paving the last few years, so the county roads have gotten to be in a lot better shape than they used to be. So traveling these back roads, just a really good experience. Just kind of ease along right about the speed limit and enjoy the sights. Started maybe within the last 10 years or so, gotten a lot of influx of people from the city coming up, and I laugh because they try to change our way of life. They come up here for what we have, they're sick of what they have, but then when they get up here they want to change what we have into what they have. So there's a little bit of that going on, but in general, slower, easier, more laid back way of life than it is the hustle and bustle of the city. Really enjoyable out here, like I said, in basically the middle of nowhere. Another one of the bigger dairies in the area, the Glee Farm, just above South New Berlin. As I said before, very big farm area. Pretty much in this area, it's hay and it's corn. And a lot of that is literally to help feed your dairy. It's a very big dairy producing area. It's also not so much into the farming aspect of it. It's a big area for maple products in the spring. A lot of maple syrups and creams and sugars and candies and all that you can make out of the maple products, because people seem to think that Vermont is the place to go for the maple products, and let's face it, it is. But this part, and I would say north of here, up into northern New York, there's a lot of maple trees, and because of that, the maple business is really big in our area. But it's neat when you think of different areas. I know when we were on vacation, my daughter made the comment, you know, wow, the beauty of that Letchworth Park that we went to, man, I wish we had this in our backyard. And I guess that's part of what I want to talk about today is, while I show you around what I would consider my backyard, we seem to overlook quite often the things that are literally in our backyard. And we go to other places to see what's in someone else's backyard, so to speak. What they have for, whether it be natural beauty or businesses or whatever it is. But what do we have right in our backyard? Well, being from this area, and as you can see so far, it's big in farming, it's big in maple. That's good, but that's all over the country, especially the farming, the dairy, that type of thing. But one of the things that we have right here locally, I mean very locally, about 20 minutes away, is the Baseball Hall of Fame, the home of baseball being Cooperstown, New York. It's considered the home of baseball. It's where it all started, with Doubleday Field and everything that goes along with the whole baseball culture. So for people that are into baseball in our area, it's right there close by. We had a soccer Hall of Fame. I don't know what happened with that. It went out of business, I do know that, but as to why, I don't know. Maybe there's another one, I don't know. But there's a soccer Hall of Fame in Oneonta. That one closed. We also had the Boxing Hall of Fame, which is the only one I know of, and that's literally less than an hour away in the little town of Canastota. About I don't know, maybe halfway between Utica and Syracuse, right off the New York State Thruway. Real easy to get to, taking the back roads for us because it's close by. I did a video, and we're going to be doing another one soon, of the Unadilla motocross track. So if motocross is your thing, literally we have one of the highest rated motocross tracks in the world. By road, it's literally a mile from my house. It's one of my side jobs. I work there. I'm the race director. I'm in the tower directing what's going on. I do a little bit of announcing. I'm also on the track crew when the racing's not going on. I'm out there, whether it be, I don't know, digging ditches sometimes to relieve water after a rain, or literally sweeping water off the track if it's an overnight between racing days. Or I run one of the big wheeled water trucks. Do a lot of different odd jobs at the track because it's a family-owned business. Yes, it might be big in the world of motocross, but still it's a family-owned business. Everybody there is considered family by the owners. Great group of people that work very, very well together. And we all pitch in wherever is needed, whether you're an employee that has a title or whether you're the newbie that just started this weekend type of a thing. Everybody seems to pitch in and help out, and it's a great dynamic. And you can't ask for better people to work for than the Robinson family. Whether it be, I work more so for Greg. It's a brother and sister that own the facility. Greg does most of I guess I'll call it the hands-on dirt work of the track, whereas his sister Jill, she does a lot of the behind the scenes. She does a lot of the paperwork, the office work, the gate people, the financial end of it. That's more her deal. So he's out playing in the dirt and she's in the office doing her thing. Greg's wife Linda, she does the hiring and the firing, and she's in charge of all the concessions. So just a great family operation. Greg and Linda's two sons are always working, and they have some nieces and nephews that work there, and so there is a lot of physical family there, but everybody is family. So the whole Unadilla vibe right there, literally a mile from the house. And I know I've said it in a couple of videos, it's a pain in the neck the way the truck drivers are, and well, I'm a truck driver myself, so at times I'm probably just as bad. But Chobani, we had the one and only Chobani yogurt plant right in South Edmiston. Since then they've grown, and there's one out in Idaho as well. They've grown into a worldwide business, billions of dollars worth of business every year. And again, that's right in little small town, middle of the nowhere, South Edmiston. You know, another really decent sized farm for the area, Southtown Dairy. But all of these places, I mean, you can see the amount of trucks and such here in their yard and equipment and the acreage that they have. Hire a lot of people. They employ a ton of people. And that's just the way our area is. It's just a very hard-working culture. Hard work and hard play at the end of it. It's a really fun dynamic. And that's what I was saying before with, you know, it is a laid-back atmosphere. You don't see, in general, everybody driving down the road 75, 80 miles an hour to get somewhere. You hang close to the speed limit. It's a more chill, relaxed atmosphere. And when people come in from the hustle and bustle areas of the cities, that they don't so much understand our way of life. And we've had a few neighbors that have come in, and a few of the neighbors we have, if you want to use my land for something, go ahead. Don't even ask. Just use it. I've got 25 acres of land up on the hill behind my house. Any friends or neighbors of mine, you want to go up there for a picnic, you want to go up and do some deer hunting, whatever. Deer hunting, I would like to know you're up there. I don't want to get shot, and I don't want to shoot you either, so let's be careful there. But otherwise, yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome to be part of our property. But I've also got neighbors that have the exact same mentality. If you want to walk across their property, go ahead. No problem. Nobody cares. Nobody minds. But in the city, and I don't care what city, I speak mine mainly on New York City, because in our area that seems to be the worst attitudes to come up. But the city is totally different. I'm going to have you arrested if you step on my property. And then when they come up here, hey, it's your property, it's your land, you do what you want with it. I'm very libertarian on that. You buy a piece of land, it's yours, you do what you want with it. None of my business what you do with it. But there's also the neighborly aspect. And in a lot of cases, they'll come up and they don't understand the neighborly concept. And many, after they're here a year or two, they begin to understand and they're like, yeah, this is what I moved upstate for. Some don't. Just had one neighbor, she was here for a few years. She came up for that better life, that better way of life in her mind, but she couldn't adapt to it. Not sure where she is now, but after a few years and making enemies with almost everybody in the neighborhood, she sold her place and moved out. Another family from the same area of the city moved up. So far, they seem to be pretty good people. You know, I had one run in with him because he didn't realize I had a right of way across his property and I was using it, so he came and questioned it. But that's all he did, was question it. He didn't come up with any threats or anything like that. He just questioned. I explained. We were all good. No big deal. And that's the type of people that we want moving into our area. If you're going to move in, come in with that sort of an attitude where you came to our area, come do what we do in our area, be neighborly, be friendly, that type of thing. And so far his family has, and that's great. So what else do we have in our area? We have a lot of small campgrounds, a lot of state parks. As you can see here, I don't know how well the camera picks it up, but the Unadilla River, as I said, it hasn't rained much this summer. It's usually great for tubing, kayaking, that type of thing. This year, not really. There's areas that are okay, but for the most part, the water's too shallow. You're going to be dragging bottom with a kayak or dragging your bottom with a tube, so we haven't been able to do much of that. But I really enjoy kayaking the river or some of the reservoirs, ponds, lakes, or whatever we have in our area. Just a very enjoyable area for outdoor type things. Being we have the rolling hills, we have a lot of areas with state-owned trail systems, and I would say the Adirondack Park is it's within an hour of where I live. Catskill Mountain within a little over an hour the opposite direction. So if you want to get into the mountains, you can. Just a great area. So we're going to be pulling in up here, check on the truck, and I will be right back with you in a few minutes. So it took a few minutes and checked in on what was going on with the truck. Got a lot of the work done to it, and still quite a bit of work to go. But it seems like right now with shipping and parts availability the way they are, and they've had that thing for probably, I don't know, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. They had a pretty big list on it that needed to be done, so I didn't expect to get it back any real quick amount of time. But they're doing a pretty good job on it. A lot of new shiny parts on it, so hopefully we'll be back running with that Peterbilt soon. Right now we're running a Freightliner Cascadia, which it's a light spec, you know, cheap type of a truck, not a nice one like the Peterbilt that I usually run, so it's kind of a bummer to run that, but yeah, it is what it is. It's a good truck to run in the interim while that one is getting worked on, so definitely no complaints there. And one of the best things, as warm as summers can be, the AC works great. Really cold AC in that truck, so that's a really cool thing. So back to the local stuff. We're over on a section of road that they just repaved here on State Route 8, so it's nice. This section a few years ago was wow type rough. It was incredibly rough. They had cracks by the yellow line. Then you stopped and looked at it. Some of the grooves were about a foot deep, literally. Not an exaggeration, but literally about a foot deep. Try to cross over to make a pass with a motorcycle, you might end up getting killed, honestly. Really sketchy section of road, but yeah, they patched them up, repaved it, so it's pretty good through here now. A couple sections get a little rough ahead, but nice area, honestly. Like I said, mainly in the corn, the hay, and the dairy. All the farms are big into that. And while I was back at that shop, there's a couple big John Deere tractors in there getting worked on. It's a construction company, but during the summer, honestly, there's not a lot of their own stuff to work on because they get it fixed up the best they can over the winter, and in the spring, the trucks go out, get out on the job sites and are working. You know, they're pretty much all over the state of New York doing their work, so they don't have a tremendous amount of their own stuff to work on, so they take in outside customers. So us being one of them with our truck and with a few farms, because again, the neighborly thing, that's just what people do. They help each other out on these things. So probably within a few weeks, as long as we can get the parts in, I'll have my truck back and maybe give you a little walk around as to what it is. I don't know, we'll try another truck related video. I know I did a few already, and not that I have that big a channel and get a lot of views, but those videos royally tanked. So I'm assuming most of you came on board for the motorcycle content and not the truck related content, but maybe we'll put a few of them in together so that, you know, maybe a few of you that are into the motorcycle related content might find a little interest in the trucking side of things as well. Always love this section of road. It seems like every year the farmer, it was that southbound area on the other road that owns this property, they always put corn on both sides, and again, it feels like you're running in a tunnel, and whether you're looking hilltop to hilltop or whether you're in the valley looking up, these rolling hills, just a beautiful, again, my opinion, beautiful area to live in, to ride in. The scenery, whether you're in the valley looking up or on a hilltop looking down, it's just so green. You don't have the tall buildings, don't have the steel and the concrete and all that. It's just older wooden houses or brick houses, the farms, and just green. A lot of people claim that the world is suffering from a big deforestation problem. Well, come outside of the cities, come out to rural America and see, because this area we definitely do not have a deforestation problem. If anything, we've got a lot of loggers coming in and cleaning out some of the forested areas for some of the really big timber that's in it. so that some of the younger stuff can grow up, because people may think, oh, it's a shame to cut down some of those really big trees, and I guess to a point it is, but at the same time, in a lot of those old forested areas, none of the small trees get to grow because the canopy above is so big, and you don't get the ferns, you don't get the berry briars. I mean, so it's easier to walk through and that type of thing. But when it comes to a truly diverse plant life and animal life in this area anyway, in those older forested areas, you don't have much for smaller plant life, and because of it, you don't have a lot of animal life in that area because there's nothing to eat. So honestly, it's better to pull some of those bigger trees out, let the younger trees, smaller plants grow, let the animals thrive in those areas. It's better, you know, for conservation that way. A lot of people don't see it that way. We may joke and call them tree huggers, but a lot of times they don't understand. Again, from the city, they see these big trees, and that must be the way it's supposed to be. But again, if we pull some of those out, a lot of the undergrowth is allowed to now grow, and it's better for the entire ecosystem. I'm gonna go real slow through here. Just fresh tar and stoned the road, so anybody that's ridden on fresh tar and stone is like riding on marbles. Not a pleasant experience, but I know the roads. It's only about a mile of it, but just wanted to show you the view from up here. Just went past a friend's house, but I just love the view from up here, looking out across the valley and to the other side. Not a huge long distance view, but just a nice view. Looks like we're going to be doing some road work. There's a few sections up here of a guide rail that are in rough shape. Looks like we're doing some, actually what I talked about earlier in this video, some of the areas that there's state roads, they clean up the side so it looks like less of a big canopy or a tunnel, which is better obviously for the roads, because visibility, less deer getting hit, all of that, it's definitely better. But I just like the look of the canopy in here, and looks like a whole load of trees, not necessarily logs, being pulled out of there, probably going to be sold for pulp, ground up to make paper or whatever. You can see a few spots, I don't know if you caught it on camera, but a few spots up through where they've caught them, and they chipped up some of the smaller branches and just shot them up to be composted back into the soil. You know, New York State is big on that. We're currently in Chenango County. I know Chenango County is big on that. Otsego, the county we were in to start off with, they're very big on the chipping it right back into the woods for compost. And a lot of you, depending on where you live, you might think, well, you didn't go very far, but you're in a different county. Well, that side hill is Otsego County. We're in Chenango. We'll be right on the border between Chenango, Otsego, and Madison, all within just right here, 100 feet really. Madison's just a couple miles up the road, but three counties come right together. That's usually in that little spot where all the counties come together is where we put our kayaks in the river. There's a bridge that, honestly, nobody really used that road. It was a cut-off road, but it was a very lightweight bridge made for back in the horse and buggy days, and quite honestly, it wasn't worth replacing the bridge. The bridge got in rough shape, so they just closed it, threw a pile of gravel on each end of it to keep cars from going across. You can walk across it, it's pretty neat, but they closed that bridge down. But the way the land is around the bridge, you can go around the corner of the bridge and underneath. It's a great place to put the kayaks in the river, and we'll float down to either South Edmiston, where we're just about at right now, which it's only about 3 miles or so by road, but probably close to 7 or so by water, because the river's very crooked, back and forth within this valley. It's not a straight river by any means, so it'll take you a few hours, unless you're, you know, a crazy paddler. If you're just enjoying yourself, it takes a few hours, and probably another 3 to get down to New Berlin, which is, I don't know, probably another 3 to 4 miles by road, but not by river. So as you can see, the truck traffic is picked up because we are at Chobani. I know, again, I've complained quite a bit about the traffic, and the truck traffic especially, but at the same time, most of these drivers, it's the first time they've ever been here. They have no idea where the shipping or receiving offices are, because they're not plainly labeled, and where do I park and that type of thing. And honestly, if you come down in here for the first time, it looks like this road is just for Chobani, but it's actually Chenango County Route 25 that leads, as we're here right now, across the Unadilla River, where we pull our kayaks out a lot, and going into Otsego County into South Edmiston. So there's the church where I am pastor. So we're almost at the house, and I'm going to wrap this video up here. Just want to thank you all for coming along and seeing some of the sights, whether they're good, whether you may think they're boring, whatever, but some of the sights in my area, some of the uniqueness, and I guess listening to me ramble while we check it out. So again, thanks for coming along, and until next time, have an amazing day.